All right, today we're going to break down one of the most incredible strike fighters ever built, the F-15E Strike Eagle. And we're not just going to list specs. We're going to look at it through the lens of a mission that was, for all intents and purposes, considered impossible. Let's jump right in.
So our story really kicks off with a challenge. In this simulated mission from our source material, a Ukrainian Su-27 flanker gave it a shot. And it failed. It just couldn't make it to the target in time. So that set up the big question. Could another plane pull it off? And that's when the F-15E Strike Eagle steps into the ring. So what is this mission we're talking about? Well, think of it as the ultimate final exam for a strike fighter. We're talking a low-level, screaming fast dash deep into enemy territory. And the whole point? To take out missile launchers before they even get a chance to fire. And you really can't overstate how difficult this is. The pilot has to fly, as they say, super low, practically scraping the treetops to stay hidden from enemy SA-6 missile batteries and patrolling flanker jets. And all of this is against a ticking clock. If you fail, the missiles launch. And even if you pull it off, you've still got to get home in one piece.
A mission this demanding needs a very specific kind of tool. And that brings us to the F-15E Strike Eagle. You hear it called a dual-role dominator. So what does that actually mean? And what makes this jet the perfect choice for this insane challenge?
First things first, just pure face-melting speed. The Strike Eagle can blast past Mach 2.5. That's more than 2.5 times the speed of sound. This kind of speed is absolutely essential for hitting a target that won't be there for long, and, as we're about to see, for running for your life.
Now, where does that speed come from? Raw, brute force power. Its two engines crank out a combined 60,000 pounds of thrust. That's the muscle that lets this jet hug the ground at mind-boggling speeds, even when it's loaded down with fuel and weapons.
And yeah, speaking of weapons, the Strike Eagle is an absolute beast. It can haul up to 23,000 pounds of bombs and missiles. For this specific mission, that means it can carry the massive 2,000-pound bomb needed to make absolutely sure that one pass is all it takes. But here's the crucial part. It's not just about being big and fast. Brute force is pretty useless if you can't actually control it. The Strike Eagle is just packed with incredible technology that lets the crew use all that power effectively, especially when things get really, really dangerous. And one of the key pieces of that tech is this thing, the Lantern Pod. As one of the F-15E pilots in our source material explains, this system lets the plane see the ground in total darkness, in bad weather, you name it. But the really amazing part? It hooks directly into the flight controls, automatically keeping the jet at a preset height above the terrain. And that is the secret sauce. That's how this jet can pull off the #1 tactic for this mission: survival. The Lantern system is what gives pilots the confidence to fly down in the weeds, making it incredibly hard for enemy radar to get a lock. It's the tech that keeps them alive. And that's just scratching the surface. You've also got its advanced radar that can track targets in the air and on the ground at the same time. These things called conformal fuel tanks that hug the body of the jet, giving it insane range without creating a bunch of drag. It's really the whole package, built from the ground up for exactly this kind of work. But with all this amazing technology, if you ask a lot of pilots, they'll tell you the F-15's single greatest asset isn't a computer. It's not a sensor. It's the human partnership sitting right there in the cockpit. See, unlike a lot of fighters, the Strike Eagle is a two-person show. You've got the pilot up front, who's just focused on flying the airplane, and in the back you have the weapon systems officer, the WISO, who's managing all the systems, the radar, the targeting, the weapons. The pilot from our source tour had this perfect analogy. The pilot's job is to row the boat, the WSO's job is to shoot the ducks. And that teamwork is absolutely critical when the pressure's on. Okay, so let's put all the pieces together. You've got the raw power of the machine, the pinpoint precision of the technology, and that vital partnership of the two-person crew. Now, let's go back to the mission and see how they make the impossible possible. So after that insane low-level sprint, this is the moment of truth. At just 6 miles from the target, the pilot yanks the stick back, pulling the jet up in a steep pop-up climb. The WSO finds the target, the pilot gets the crosshairs lined up in his display, and then you hear it, pickle. That's the call. The 2,000-pound bomb is on its way. And in the same breath, they're diving right back down to the deck, throttles to the firewall.
And getting out is every bit as intense as getting in. The jet's warning systems are just screaming. Multiple flankers are on their tail. But now they're doing over 730 knots, just a few hundred feet off the ground, and the pilot says it all. He is literally outrunning them. That raw speed that got them to the target on time is now their ticket home, letting them outrun enemy fighters and the missiles they're firing. Mission complete.
So in the end, the Strike Eagle pulled it off. It succeeded because of that perfect trifecta: incredible speed, game-changing technology for low-level flight, and the sheer efficiency of having two crew members working together. It's just this perfect blend of man and machine. Which, leaves us with a pretty interesting question for today. In an age of drones and AI, what's the future of that human partnership in the cockpit?